trolling or, and by the way, for the people who are gonna say, yo, act, don't the what's it saying? The roosters come home to roost or whatever it is. I forgot what the saying is. They'd be like, yo, remember when Meek told you that he was getting botted? Okay, very different. Very different than what I'm seeing here. Okay? Very different. Like, again, we're not going to take anything away from Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us. We're not going to take anything away from any of his releases, but let's not act delusional and act like Family Matters wasn't slapping. People wasn't roasting it. People definitely wasn't roasting it. Meek was just getting roasted by the culture. He didn't understand internet roasting. Like, the level that Meek was getting roasted, I didn't see Drake in this aspect of this battle get roasted. Like, I mean, obviously Not Like Us is doing his thing, but I think people appreciated Family Matters. That's why I can't understand what this is. Okay? So, again, maybe it's botting, or maybe people are just saying, fuck it, we trolling this nigga, right? So, you know, I'm analyzing both perspectives, but it is kind of interesting. I'm wondering how long this lasts. You know, obviously, I offered my opinion about Drake dropping the fucking Drake dropping the song with Sexy Red. Like the song with Sexy Red would have not been, it just would have not been the thing I would have done. Sorry, people. It just would have not been the thing I would have done, coming out of like some of those things that you knew were gonna be like, you know, sticking from the Kendrick's diss. But this is like outstanding hate. Imagine 100,000 dislikes and 20,000 likes. Which now I'm starting to think, is Drake the victim of a possible hate train? And I know somebody gonna be like, yeah, y'all niggas didn't believe when Nicki said that. Now you wanna ride Drake dick and believe when well, Drake never said it that. I'm just thinking right now out loud. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Maybe we're actually in a post-Drake dominant society where it's actually good to hate on Drake, right? Like right now, if you hated on Drake, it probably got you going up a little bit more. I'm not sure. Again, I'm throwing out these as theories. We're trying to explain what's going on here. Somebody, okay, I'm reading some of y'all comments. Tropical Taste, he says, yo, Ack, if you think about it, he deserves it, and people are just now seeing the truth. What's the truth, my brother? You gotta tell me. Hey, listen, I need y'all to get on, I do need all my people. If you comment a lot, I want y'all to get on Discord. I want to talk to y'all. Today is the day. If you are a commenter, you always have, because sometimes I read some very brilliant comments from you guys. I need you guys to get on the Discord, right? And come debate with me real quick, okay? I might have a guest today. I'm kind of monitoring it if it's going to come through. Might have a guest. But it's not pertaining to this topic. Okay. All right. Okay. Heavy Lifestyle, I see you. I see all my people. All right, hold on. Come on now. Don't do me like this. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Why does it not let me see the old donations? Okay. So, chat, I'm monitoring this, but I'm calling it out early. By the way, Brand Blunt, thank you for the 10. He says, yo, never heard of any rapper using slaves in a reference to the diss. The culture has spoken. Hey, Brand Blunt, good comment, and thank you for the donation, by the way. You know what this battle taught me, right? And by the way, I think this is why Drake should probably realize, you know what his Achilles heel is, right? The kryptonite for Drake, like what works for Drake is numbers, bops, when he could talk success. What nullifies that if the other artists could kind of have near to your success? What definitely is his kryptonite is if that other artist could start talking that black excellence, I'm what the culture feeling, that was one of the most potent lines that Kendrick did. And I ain't gonna lie, like watching all the niggas who been hated Drake, I watched them just beat their chest just at like, that was like a war cry by Kendrick when he was just like, yo, I'm with the culture feeling. He was like, yo, and when I mean, he said, when I mean we, I'm talking, it was like, basically it's more than me, nigga. I'm with the culture feeling right now. And everybody who hates Drake was like, ah! And I was like, oh shit. That's one of the things I realized, for whatever reason. Maybe it's the fact that he got a white mom, black dad. Maybe it's because he was born in Canada. Maybe it's because like he makes pop music a lot. He makes music that doesn't really seem to be super pro-black, or, you know what I mean, he hasn't, you know, necessarily connected with maybe the plight of African Americans, which, by the way, have no doubt what hip hop is. Hip hop is basically black culture still. I don't care where it goes. And it's always intuitively tied to the black struggle. That is one of Drake's weaknesses, right? Where it's like, yeah, you could beat a Pusha T, but you beat him, or you could beat him, by knowing that your success, your ability is kind of equal, but your success has so much outweighed him. You're what that nigga would have wished he became. You could always son him, right? The exact, like think about Dragon Ball Z. Like, who was the fucking exact kryptonite for somebody else? Regardless, you guys are spam in the chat. Regardless, someone who gets numbers by being the guy that the culture would see as, oh, he never sold out. He always like held it down. He's never doing too much. He's a cultural representative and he's never compromised. That person you can't beat, right? Like, you can't even beat that person. You know what I mean? Like there's just too many avenues that nigga could just flame you up. Like Kendrick could have came back and said, yo, my nigga, you paint your nails to go appeal to the bad bitches and the kids. Like, yo, what's up with you? Like, and that would have went crazy just off people saying, Kendrick don't do that. So, you know what I mean? There is like this archetype of what Drake's supposed weakness would have been, or the archetype of the rapper that you would say it would be the hardest for him to defeat, given where his weaknesses would be, and it would be literally Kendrick Lamar. Like, literally. Like, it would be literally a nigga who does numbers, also sells out arenas, but doesn't do any of the pop things that you've done to fucking whatever. Anyway. Still, I'm wondering if Kendrick's, again, I'm wondering if this is trolling, botting, or Kendrick's performance in this battle has really gotten the culture to look at Drake very differently. Like, they're listening to his music differently. Like, I was reading comments, and yeah, this is why I went to Sexy Red comment section. Like, the likes and the dislikes are one thing, but like, I had to get a little bit more qualitative. I want to hear the people. That's why I'm inviting y'all to come talk to me today. I gotta hear the opinions. Like, some of these people are like, yo, I like look at Drake different. I hear his music different. Like, everything is different after this battle. And I'm like, really? But for some people, that's what they're saying. It's like, they're almost like, I don't know, maybe it was like, remember when Jay-Z was just like, at a point, which two points in his career, he was just like, yo, we ain't doing the jerseys no more, or the big ass oversized white tees. Yo, it's button ups. And like, I ain't gonna lie, shit. You remember like me as a kid growing up, like the dope thing was to have like a little button up. Like, I remember going to I think with H&M, I was getting the little button ups, my nigga. You feel me? Like, you trying to, because Jay has made the baggy whatever clothing like out of style. Like, nobody would fuck with it no more. Then of course he did it kind of on a culture level with kind of with DOA, with Death of Autotune, right? Because do we blame that with T-Pain? T-Pain was like, that just shows the power of the culture is so much more than the power of being the most popular, right? Like the power of the cultural equity is probably worth 100 times more than world popularity. At least in hip hop. At least in hip hop. What do y'all think about that? Anyway, so I went to the comment section, and by the way, this is a live video. We here. Let's and I was like, nah, this gotta be all bots. And this is what I was reading. Yo, this is just two bad bitches singing. This shit wasn't released, it was escaped. Ice JJ Fish wrote this shit. Kendrick Lamar. What? Why are we talking about Kendrick and a Drake release? Yo, this is a Drake and Sexy Red song. Why is, and by the way, and this is why I said Drake might have invited this, like, bruh, the nigga literally says, when I see you stand by Sexy Red, I see two bad bitches. Maybe the first song you drop shouldn't be with Sexy Red, but whatever. Kendrick Lamar says Drake sees two bad bitches when he's stand next to Sexy Red, and 1 month later he did this song with her while he's trying to fix the L that he took. Oh my God. Over a Metro instrumental. Okay. Drake, stop rapping with this woman. This goes hard on mute. You can't convince me this ain't a white flag. All right, let's look at the top comment first, and then we'll look at the most recent ones. Sort by, oh, these are the top comments. Let me see. Okay, this is like a stock comment. Yo, Sexy Red, thank you so much. Because of that note you hit in the beginning, my 96-year-old grandma finally recovered from her 20-year coma to turn the shit off. This other guy right here. Bro really thinks he's a bad bitch. You know what's so crazy? Nobody said that before. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, yo, if we talk about influence, I always say culture influences, right? Like, with all due respect, I've always said, you see a bunch of white girls doing dances, like they'll do whatever dance on TikTok. They don't create it. It's always like a cultural nigga, like in Philly, like they're like doing this and doing all this. And then the white girls on TikTok, they just copy it, right? And it's like biggest thing in the world. I want to rock, like, but really that came from culture. That came from, I forgot what the name of the dudes out of Philly that really taught Uzi to dance. That's culture. Like culture creates, culture influences. Everything else, even when it gets popular, they just imitate. They can't trend set, right? And I'm looking at this shit, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Look, you might pop ass with them. Drake fans down so fucking bad, they trying to convince themselves this is a banger to cope. The fact they made it, listen to it 1,000 times, I've mastered, whatever, have different people clear it and still drop it is crazy to me. Look, when I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. You might pop ass with them. When Kendrick, see, look at these likes. Look, another like. You might pop ass with them. I'm like, what? I've never seen two careers end in a single song before. What? This shit is crazy. Does Kendrick Lamar have that much cultural influence? And this is going to sound crazy because Drake to me is just a more popular global superstar. I was on Flagrant 2 and I was talking about this. And I remember Andrew Schultz said this. He said, yo, Kendrick is not even nearly as popular as Drake, which I agree. But he was just saying, who gives a fuck about Kendrick? Drake should have just ignored this, or like, you know, Kendrick can't do anything to affect Drake. And I remember saying, maybe globally, if you're looking outside of hip hop, Drake's popularity, even as just a brand, is just way more than Kendrick. But within hip hop, what Kendrick has done as an artist and his career, he's not that far from Drake in terms of even popularity. Just as far as the culture is concerned, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, like this guy still does some numbers. And I remember Schultz was like, nah. And then watching all this, I'm like, maybe this nigga Kendrick did fucking affect some people. Or maybe they're just trolling Drake. You know what I mean? Because do I think that people are not going to like Drake? Nah. Like, you know what I mean? You know, the difference between, and, you know, I think Meek Mill right now is like back there like fucking whacking off to like some Diddy pictures or whatever. But he's probably like loving this moment. He's like, yeah, I remember when I told niggas that Drake was using bots. Now Drake's about to use my excuse, or maybe people for Drake or Drake fans are about to use my excuse talking about bots and this that. No. The difference here is, and this is what I think, very, very different from Meek or anybody else. Drake has given 15 years of music that people love. It's impossible to kill that feeling. He might not be as popular, or maybe in this moment, in this cross section of time, we look at him and we be like, damn, bro, like, yeah, Kendrick made you look whatever. But it's impossible for him to get Meek Mill. Like, Meek Mill lost his entire career. Like, Meek Mill is literally selling shout outs on Instagram. Like, that nigga is. Somebody sent me a screenshot. They say, yo, Meek is selling shout outs for $5,000. I couldn't believe it. That's one level of getting killed. And then I'm like, nah, Drake can't get killed like that. And even if you think about the Ja Rule effect, Ja Rule, yeah, he had some bops. But Ja's run was like, 4 or 5 years of him being like the guy. The fan base that Drake got, like, Drake got music that is matched. Think about the last 15 years of your life. Think about it. Bro, I was 19 years old. 19 fucking years old, my nigga. 19 years old, just listening to Drake and just so, like, enamored because that nigga's music was matching what I was going through at that time in college, like, kind of growing and maturing as a young male. I've listened to his music for 15 years afterwards. Sometimes it's not always like I'm like, oh, it just completely matches. Because sometimes he's talking about shit, I'm like, all right, I ain't there yet. But get it. It's impossible for you to just be like, oh, fuck this guy who's given a 15-year soundtrack to your life. And by the way, that goes for even Kendrick and definitely even Cole. This is why the whole thing with Cole apologizing, I do think Cole could never talk too crazy on the level of, he can't talk too crazy, like, that the masses will like, fuck with him, be like, oh yeah, Cole, keep talking all that shit. But his fan base ain't gonna desert him. Them people at Dreamville Fest ain't gonna desert him. I watched Cole come to my college at Rutgers University, and he sold out like the fucking gym there. And people who I know went to that concert, hold on. Sorry, I think it's allergies. People who went to that concert went to concerts 12 years later. Like, that guy has been in their life. It's like the soundtrack of their life. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, he apologized to Kendrick, fuck him. Now, J. Cole isn't that for me. And even then, I still like his music. Still think he's dope. I just don't think he could say he's the best. But the people who love him, they're not going to abandon his music. Even if they think he shouldn't talk that best shit no more. What the fuck? Sorry, chat. Okay. All right. But yeah. Just look. Just look at these comments. OVHO. Like, look at these comments. Drake knows his core. Drake know her. What? Core fan base is 14 and under. Is she singing? Why are they calling Drake she? Is she singing off key? What key is she in? A minor? Yo, what's up with these comments? Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. They're quoting Kendrick Lamar. And so I'm like scrolling down. Bro, I probably read like 3,000 comments last night because I'm like, all right, I want to see recurring comments because I know how to like decipher bot comments. And I'm kind of going, I'm like, damn. I think maybe there's a decent amount of people, whether they're trolling or not, I don't know, but they're not rocking with Drake right now, which is kind of interesting because we would have to give that credit to culturally how Kendrick framed the argument or the issue with him and Drake. He made it kind of unpopular or uncultural to fuck with Drake within the moment. I'm not saying people are going to just not fuck with his music. By the way, I still think he's going to be the most popular artist still. But it kind of shows that, damn, maybe Kendrick has caused, at least in the interim, a little bit of a hiccup for Drake. And I'm like, fuck, that is crazy. So Brad Blunt, I agree with you with that synopsis. DeMarco Smith says the numbers don't matter to Push because whatever he say, the industry gonna listen. That's what being a legend means. Drake could never shake him. Okay. Northside Capo, thinking for five. He says Charlemagne had the best point. Drake ain't gonna change music. He not gonna let K. Dot Ja rule him and take him out his lane. The red song is his lane. This red song is his lane. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, so I guess the point that was being made, and I think I heard Charlemagne say it too. Uh, when when Ja Rule was being attacked, even though I just think it's impossible for Drake to be Ja Rule, like it's just impossible. Again, people love Drake way more than they've ever loved Ja Rule. But anyway, when the term Ja Rule, a lot of people are saying it's not only because Ja was beefing with certain people who were, very popular, and there was kind of like maybe a little 20v1 situation there. Ja Rule turned into the artist that was trying to now portray thuggism. Not saying he wasn't a nigga from the street or whatever the case is, but his music and his hit songs, what would I do without your baby? Like all these songs, you know what I mean? Like, I'm real, the way I don't know why I'm trying to sound like the Cookie Monster when I'm trying to, Ja Rule, don't get mad at me. But the songs that were popping off were like, it's not, like, it must be the, not, whatever. Anyway, all of these songs by Ja were like, songs for the ladies, songs that were dope, that were just kind of cool. And then when he started beefing, he felt like he was almost surrounded, so he stopped making those songs and started making I'm a thug songs. Like, yo, I'm gonna fuck y'all niggas up, fuck you, and you know what I mean? We gonna clap back. Which by the way, I like that record. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna clap back, and I ain't gonna lie, definitely did like the record. I got 100 guns, 100 clip. Like, he started making more aggressive type records. And yeah, maybe people gave him a little bit of respect because he was trying to defend himself in a battle sense, but people were probably looking at him like, yo, bruh, go get J-Lo, nigga, and go do another record, my nigga. What the fuck are you doing? We don't want to hear you being tough. We want to hear you singing the hoes, you know what I mean? With that little smirk or whatever on your face. And I guess to Charlemagne's point, he was saying Drake isn't going to let this battle, right, change how he puts out music. Which means if he puts out music with Sexy Red, he's still going to put out music with Sexy Red. If he likes working with Yachty or likes dressing like Yachty or likes painting his nails like Yachty, he's still going to do songs with Yachty, likes working with Yachty, and still going to, paint his nails. Might be actually a valid point. Really valid point, to be honest. But yeah, I was surprised, man. I'm like, what the fuck? It was just it was so much hate comments, like so fucking much. So much. It was so much hate comments. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why is everybody like, are people like, again, like I understand the concept of people like, oh no, Drake, they believe that Drake, didn't get the upside in the battle according to them. Like I get that. So you want to troll that person, right? But I don't know. I'm feeling like it's a little bit too much, man. I don't know. Anyway, his streams are still going up. Modita, that's not nice for you to say. Told me I'm getting cream pie by Drizzy. Oh my God, what type of Diddy stuff you want? Stop it. Drill says, shout out to my man Drill. He cuts up all these clips. He says, Drake fans ain't gonna stop loving Drake because of Kendrick. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've always said this. Up until 2015, Drake fans used to clown Drake. It's like a lot of y'all, I'm not gonna call y'all fans of mine, but y'all are in the audience. Y'all chat niggas. Y'all clown the shit out of me. Y'all have everything to say about me. But anytime a nigga gets at me, or anytime you see like, yo, it's defense squad mode, like I can't remember one of the first times I seen that. I think definitely on Everyday Struggle too, when y'all felt like, like people were picking on me or whatever. Like, yo, I saw y'all were really going in, bro. I'm telling you. And that's the relationship I thought Drake had with his fans. Yeah, like Drake fans kind of like, cause Drake is like a emotion almost damn near. So they, yeah, they love his music, but they'll make fun of him too. And then when the Meek shit happened, oh my God, Drake fans activated. When the Meek shit happened, they fucking-vated. And afterwards, I think just a lot of people just started liking Drake, so it wasn't that type of thing. This is just an interesting time where it sounds crazy, but I think that Kendrick fans are trying to still convince themselves that Kendrick won. It's kind of sad. Like, they're trying to convince themselves that Kendrick won by like still wilding out. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, let's show the effect of Kendrick, which if you are a fan of Kendrick or just a random fan and you said, hey, qualitatively you thought that Kendrick's music was better during this battle, hey, more power to you. Like, that's a good opinion. I can't knock it. If you thought Drake's, I can't knock that either. But Kendrick fans seems like the only way they could kind of get the win for Kendrick, they got to be doing the most, which maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. All right, anyway. Speaking of which, somebody says, yo, Drake jumped on Sexy Red's You My Everything, right? And they said this shit was not good, right? But they're talking about, have you heard about J. Cole, who jumped on like pretty much the hottest artist out of New York right now, which is Cash Cobain. He has this song called Grippy, right? J. Cole jumped on the song. Oh my God. This shit is like, yo, I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's exactly what you would think of when you would think of one of these pro-black, super militant, Dr. Umar Johnson type of niggas trying to finesse a chick from out of some pussy. You know what I mean? Just sounding mad, like just out of touch, right? Anyway, this is another thing I keep telling you about the Kendrick shit, though. Look, okay, these are objective points, I think. Yo, they didn't like the Sexy Red and Drake song. They didn't like the Cash Cobain and J. Cole song. But then they quote Kendrick. Them superpowers getting neutralized. I could only watch inside. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy because everybody's giving Kendrick the credit for anything they don't like about Drake or anything Drake does. It's kind of odd. Anyway. Extremius Clippius. I like that name. By the way, 3 Diglets, thank you for telling says, Ack, you're overthinking this whole thing. Am I? E-Black, thank you for the 20. He says, yo, welcome to every Meek Mill's fan reality. We was wondering how the culture betrayed him for a Canadian rapper. It's over, son. E-Black, that's a good point too, right? I think what we realize is that when you're a gangster rapper, with all due respect, when you're a gangster rapper and you rap ignorance, like, and you know, I'm going to throw these rappers into the mix. I'm not trying to disrespect them, but this is who they are. If you're 21 Savage, if you're Chief Keef, if you're Waka Flocka, if you're Meek Mill, even if you're Future, and I know somebody be like, well, Future is more of like, he's a street rapper, but he's not like a gangster rapper, whatever. When you have rapped about debauchery and fuckery for the majority of your career, you can't then try to play the cultural card. The person to play the cultural card, it's a soapbox type card, and you can also be advocating for black genocide, right? So Meek can't be like, yo, I'm what the culture is feeling. No, the culture isn't feeling the nigga who's saying, let's spin the blocks and spin the blocks and spin the blocks. No, it makes sense for someone like Kendrick or someone like Cole, right? I think that's the culture didn't turn its back on Meek. I just don't think those people could use the cultural card unless they have some real action or it's a white man going against them, right? If they're going against a legit white man, yes. If they're going against, I don't know, maybe if they got, because we all know in the black community, a nigga could have 59 warrants, 35 felons. He could be a 96-time convicted felon. If the police arrest him or profile him, they're gonna march for that nigga. We gonna be, why did y'all, like, come on, like, what? Yeah, nigga, I looked up his name. This nigga said he's a decorated felon. Of course I profiled his bitch ass. But in the black community, we will ride for that guy because even though you've gotten convicted of 96 felonies, for your 97th, the police should treat you and act like you're an angel, okay? So in that case, we'll ride out for the gangster nigga, but not in the case of like a hip-hop type of context. We're not going to ride out for Meek Mill trying to like what the fuck is... And also, here's the thing too. Most gangster rappers, because they lead with violence and, oh, I'm like that, trenches, streets, they don't even know how to frame or use the cultural card because their music, they've never stood for anything. The thing with Kendrick is that there's always been, even if he talked about the violence he saw, the things that was going on around him that people could be like, oh, that was kind of staticky. He always showed that he was someone that was for the progression of the black plight. He was someone that, when people like, oh, he's for us. So, of course, they're going to rock for, like, Kendrick. They're not going to rock. If Chief Keef, again, obviously, he wouldn't be no rap battle, but if Chief Keef tried to, like, frame himself versus somebody else to say, yo, at least the streets fuck with me, or yo, the culture fucks with me. No, we don't fuck with, like, I mean, we love him, but we don't fuck with the nigga who is basically like the clear war on the block right next to him. Like, you know what I mean? And basically smoked on every dead child that's been in Chicago. No. So I actually resent people saying that the culture betrayed Meek Mill. No, Meek's not clever enough to put it in that way, and I don't think gangster rappers could use that card. I don't think so. Okay. You see that Meek fan trying to jump up in this shit? Amin Dana, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Thank you for the Canadian donation, which I'm guessing you're from Canada. He says there's far too many things that to refer to when it comes to Drake compared to K-Dot. Even Diddy Truth came out eventually, and he was denying things all along. Drake became more defensive and deflecting every other line. That looks bad. Which, by the way, that's another point that I believe Charlamagne said. Drake playing any type of defense or playing, deflection games makes him look worse. I'm not sure if that's the thing that sinks him, but I understand that. Like, for example, Drake flat out said in push-ups, the whole premise is drop and give me 50. Basically saying, yo, you're giving 50% away to this guy who tells you what to do. Literally drop and give me 50, nigga. Right? You got to drop your music, give me 50. Also, if I tell you to go do something, you better do it. That's the same, drop and give me 50. What does Kendrick come back and say instead of saying, oh no, I own all my shit? You know what he says? He says, speaking about splits, he said, you show me your splits, and then I'll get back with you. I'll double back with you. Like, he basically didn't answer it at all. He ain't answering it at all. He didn't answer it at all. He accused him of getting extorted by Top. What Kendrick said? Kendrick said, he basically said, he shout out to Top, and he says, yo, he said, extortion's my middle name. When you get off that plane, what's up? Kendrick never really answered to nothing that Drake said. He was just kind of like, it felt like he got his own mission going on and he was just going. He didn't give two fucks. But I do think it's hard to like keep arguing when a nigga like throws in like the pedophile thing. You know what I mean? It's one thing is like, oh, your contract's fucked up. It's another thing when a nigga saying you're fucking kids and there was already little weird things out there that people were trying to latch onto. So I don't know if Drake, if he just ignored it, it would have worked. But that's a good opinion. Thank you. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, okay. Here we go. Finally. Dejon Watson says, Drake should have sent a cease and desist to the record. Parker says, yeah, it's natural hate. Kendrick opened the door. So you think there's just hating on Drake? Holy shit. Najee Okafor, he says, yo, Bow Wow was doing Drake numbers with CD sales before streams. Yo, I hate when y'all just compare everybody to Drake. Like, if you compare Drake's pop appeal to some of these guys, maybe there's, Nelly was doing wild numbers. Bro, did Nelly have the heart and the souls of these people like that, bro? Like niggas have grown up on Drake. Like, the same way how people love, put it like this. Drake is a pop artist and Jay-Z at the same time. There's people who grew up on Jay, right? Who just loves everything Jay has said. There's people who grew up on Nas. Love everything Nas has said, even DMX. Then he's just had a shit ton of hit records, so you can't just compare him to Bow Wow. I don't think, if Bow Wow had people rocking with him and loving him to the level that his music connected beyond the hits and was just part of their lives and they felt they knew him, I don't think he'd be like, is he doing a reality show? I don't know what he's doing, but I don't think he'd be in a different place, bro. Or maybe just music evolved, because these days people do care much more about your outside the music stuff, or make sure the music is congruent with your life. Anyway, Parker also said, Kendrick made it okay to hate on Drake in public. Yo, that's kind of interesting. Uh, Brad Blunt says, what about, and by the way, Najee Okafor, thank you for that was your 20th donation. Damn, thank you, my boy. Brad Blunt says, or maybe people don't fuck with the songs. I, I highly don't believe that people don't fuck with Family Matters. And even though people want to say it's a white flag with the Hard Part 6, I'm sorry. The Hard Part 6 is a really good song, especially from a rapping perspective. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm not believing that. The Sexy Red song, I'll give it to you. The Sexy Red song is like, Pick the Cools. He says, yo, can't listen to Stick Talk in falsetto was hilarious. I still feel like he lost though. Okay. Miguel RRT says, what does Diddy and K Dot have in common? They both beat women. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people just kind of skip past that whole thing with Kendrick. Like, and that goes back to the last person who commented. I guess maybe you don't have to respond to everything because I know pedophilia is like a very crazy accusations, but accusations of abusing women is too. And Kendrick didn't seem to give a fuck. Like we didn't even see Kendrick try to go out of his way to post a picture with his wife to let people know, like, nah, we good over here, nigga. Like, to keep it real, you know what's interesting? Like, Kendrick's wife even, or like his girl, nigga, she wished herself a Mother's Day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nigga, once I seen this, I was like, Drake might be right, but nobody give a fuck. You know what I mean? She said, happy birthday to me. If a woman is saying happy birthday to her goddamn self, you know shit ain't sweet at the crib. That's the day women flex on other bitches with gifts from their man and by showing out with their man and their kids. She posted up happy birthday to me and happy Mother's Day to all the real ones. Tells me that it's not a happy home, or maybe they've separated, but it doesn't confirm anything about abuse. And also, you know, she didn't do what Drake would probably have wanted her to do, which would clearly signal that, you know, whatever he's saying is true. Because even if they are taking a break, okay, is that like that's not like a got you, right? So yeah. Three Diglets. He also says, ain't been the same since nothing was the same. Stop it, Three Diglets. You wildin', my boy. John Blue, he says, you are not giving music fans credit when it comes to the dislikes. Why couldn't it be simply that the Sexy Red is just trash, even with Drake on it? John Blue, I'm giving you that credit that this Sexy Red song is not that good. And again, we've heard mid songs, trash songs. A 20% like ratio or 80% dislike ratio is kind of exorbitant. And if this was just a one-off, fine. Family Matters, which a lot of people like, getting 500,000 dislikes is, and then also the Hard Part 6. I don't think the majority of conversation is that those songs are trash, my boy. That's why I'm actually bringing this up, right? Chicago Lives, or Chicago Lives, maybe that's it. It says, it's definitely trendy to hate Drake right now. BBL Drizzy was huge and a brilliant chess move. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give Metro that credit. I didn't think that him dropping the beat for BBL Drizzy was going to, and by the way, I don't think it's necessarily the beat. I think he started a challenge and fans wanted to get active in this beef anyway. Like, he did one of the old school, remember like labels used to try to start up challenges to promote a song? Like, I remember infamously, like, the labels for like the Black Beetle, like, remember the Black Beatles song from Ray Shremmerd, when they were they were starting it up where people were doing the mannequin challenge, and, you know, they were obviously pushing that. I thought the overt attempt to try to make a challenge shit was over, though. Like, these days, that's moved on to TikTok. There's all little strategies try to get that pop in there. But Metro just put out a beat. The sample was already out there. He just put some drums to it. Literally what Drake said. Metro, shut your ass up and make some drums. He literally shut his ass up and made some drums to an already existing sample. And everybody jumped in. You could go on TikTok and see so many different people, right? Like, BBL Drizzy, TikTok. You could just find so many people on there, just kind of like getting it in. And I ain't gonna lie to you. The worst part about this showcase, and this is what So you know how Drake used AI? This is what AI before Drake, embraced it. AI showed people that yeah, we love Drake and we love Kendrick, but there's really creative motherfuckers out there that just aren't Drake, who aren't Kendrick, but if they had to write some bars or if they had to make a product, they could make products that people could actually consider and be like, wait, is this Drake? Is this Kendrick? That's what AI did. It taught people that even though we love these great, talented, smart, creative musicians, there were so many more talented people in the world. What this BBL Drizzy shit did was kind of open it up and you're like, wow, there's dumb amount of talented people. Like, look at this shit. BBL Drizzy. Nah, this shit, I've never even heard this. This is fire. BBL Drizzy. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. This sounds like a different sample. BBL Drizzy. By the way, this is the talk box that, I think this is the talk box technology that was used on, so it's not even autotune. It's called like Talkbox, I believe. It was used on Computer Love Talkbox. I don't know if y'all ever seen this. I think there's a performance with the guy doing it. Is it? Yeah, you put this little thing in your mouth. Almost looks like, you're fucking hookah. Let me see if I can find the original. Oh yeah, here it goes. Oh, I always thought this sounded better than autotune in certain cases. But yeah, computer love. Yeah. Anyway, this guy brings it back and he's using the BBL Drizzy. I ain't gonna lie, this sounds fire. One thing I'll admit that I was wrong about, chat. When I first heard Not Like Us and I first even heard the BBL Drizzy shit, I'm like, it's no way niggas are going to be dancing outside of this battle and beef to Drake being a pedophile and Drake having a BBL. It just seems odd. Like, people like dancing to, yo, bitch, suck my dick, or like, yo, she got a fat ass. Like, I didn't think people would dance to clowning Drake. Like, this shit's crazy. Like, you have to realize the context of the song, yeah, it might sound catchy, is Drake got a BBL. And remember Drake commented, was like, nigga, you made a beat by my ass, right? And in the other, with Not Like Us, is like, yo, Drake like little kids. Like, I don't think people could foresee that being the shit that no niggas don't give a fuck about dancing to. This shit's on fire. Nah, that's fire. Somebody got to sample that. Yo, people are fucking talented, man. I kid you not. Anyway, let me see. Voxzilla, thank you for the 8 English pounds. She says, yo, Ak, you got to realize, man, people have outgrown Drake's music. It hasn't evolved that much, and when it does, it's off the back of somebody else's wave. That's his problem. Voxzilla, do we actually believe that, though? And I know somebody gonna be in the comments saying, yo, Ak is just copping a plea, yo, he's doing tricks on it. Like, yo, relax. I'm really asking that question. For All the Dogs, it was an R&B album, mostly in the first part. Then the Scary Hour version came out, a little bit more rap. Again, I'm not saying that Drake's music, I'm not saying For All the Dogs is a classic, but it's still a good album. Are we acting like, yo, people are just over Drake? Y'all let me know. Extremious Clips, thank you for the 10. He says, I agree with you. Drake has been the soundtrack to Lies, but it's now time to hang it up. This is where, that statement alone, no one was saying this before, 6 months ago. Are you telling me it takes that quickly where people were like, there was a conversation that Drake's still gonna run this shit for another 10 years. There's nobody who's even close to, being in the realm of um competing with Drake for his position in the game at this point. And people thought, yo, he might have another 10-year run. And you're telling me just all of a sudden it's just snapped, it's just switched. And people are just saying it's time for him to hang it up, like it's over. Then he continues and says, in the past 5 years, he's given us Rich Baby Daddy, Tootsie Slides, and Girls Want Girls. Just trash. Well, I would say there's been a lot of other tracks. Like, you might not like those tracks. Those are meant for a certain audience. But, on all those albums, he gave us other great songs. But okay. Parker, he came back again and he said, yo, the people want real art again, Ak. Is that, do you think that's the case? Because if that's the case, it's going to affect more than just Drake. And here's the thing. I think Drake could adjust to whatever the culture wants. I think Drake has never gone against the wave to set the stamp. Drake follows the wave and he just stays on top. Let me give you the example. Drake is popular enough that if he wanted to make lyricism be at the forefront of what people were consuming, he could have. But instead of challenging where music and the wave was going, he followed it and added on to it, right? I think that, let's say Kendrick changed the wave right now, right? Which, by the way, I was saying is going to affect more other people than Drake, because I think Drake could get on some substance-filled shit. I think he's that talented. That's why, the best guys could do it all, right? Who it affects is the Sexy Reds. Like, if people are now desensitized or now tired of the, oh, my pussy stink, my booty black, I'ma fuck them all. Like, if you're tired of that, Sexy Red's out of here. Like, she's done, right? But along with her being done, is like a whole archetype and a whole sound of music that's just gonna just die out, right? Now, I can't say that that's all that Drake does. Drake kind of does everything. Drake sings, Drake fucking raps lyrically, then he swag raps, and he yachty raps, and then he kind of does it all. Nigga was on the track with Yeet, right? Anyway, check-in report. What up with you? And thank you, brother. He says, yo, the battle is over. And remember when Nas won the battle, but with Hove, but not the war portion? Will Kendrick disappear again? Well, so that's the whole thing that's happening. I've heard, and again, I can't say these are verified sources because I don't even want to cap to say I know actual legit source. Like, usually with Drake, I could tell you like if it's a real source or not, or I can tell you if it's from him. With Kendrick, I don't have an actual legit source of Kendrick. It's people who I know are kind of around, but sometimes you got to be kind of careful with Kendrick and his team, because I think sometimes they throw shit out, and I've learned this in the battle. They'll kind of let things go out that they capitalize off the narrative. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like 100% during that battle, I think Kendrick and his team realized that the venue of where people were getting their first reaction and where people were also judging and viewing this battle was through my stream. And they specifically, I have a lot of proof to say they specifically tried to use me against Drake in a sense. You get what I mean? Be like, all right, like, for example, I heard I think I told you, they spent up to 6 figures, like just marketing, taking the reaction of me reacting to like Euphoria, not Euphoria, but it was 616 or Meet the Grams. They took, remember Drake had dropped something and then they dropped immediately. The reaction I had, they spent mad marketing dollars getting it out to every blog, which is kind of smart, right? It's like, all right, cool. Let's play Drake's biggest fan against Drake, right? Which, actually, I can't even, that's fucking clever. I can't even lie to y'all. Anyway, he said, will Kendrick disappear? Okay, so I said that to say this. I've heard, and I guess I was adding a lot of grain, or like, take this with a grain of salt. I was adding a lot of salt grains to it. So I don't know if this is actually a thing. Because Kendrick's streams has gone all the way up, and he's done so much, I heard that his album is pushed back slightly. I heard his album would have been here for in the next like 2-3 weeks. That's what I'm hearing. I heard that Kendrick would have been dropped his album. If this battle did not happen, his album would have came. However, everything has changed. Number one, a lot of people are giving him so much positive press and reinforcement after this battle. Number two, the streams from the 3 diss songs that he has up, right? Think about this. The streams from only the 3 diss songs he has up on Drake that are on DSPs, they have done so much streams, it's equivalent to 2 albums. Not Kendrick albums, but 2 regular albums from a lit artist. So essentially, if we're thinking about artists who work for a company, even though he works for himself, allegedly with PG Lang, but they have distribution deals and whatever the case is, if you have to check the box of maybe, you wanted to get, I don't know, let's say 500 million streams, right? Like that was the goal. Like you needed to drop your album and get 500 million or 1 billion streams. Well, those 3 diss songs got those streams that your album was supposed to get. So now what that does, if you're a businessman, it makes you now play the game different. Because you've satisfied the quota in what you needed to provide in streams and sales, obviously you do want to take advantage of the moment because you're lit right now, so he is going to drop. But you don't necessarily have to rush out your product because you're dominating streams with 3 songs. So from what I heard he's like, he's refining the album, he's polishing, but he's letting the songs that are doing, like Not Like Us is going crazy. Let those do the numbers, which by the way, they're doing 3 songs are doing so much numbers, it would be equivalent to 2 regular artist albums. And when I see regular artists, I would say like 100,000 or so. So that's why I've heard that his project, isn't coming immediately, but it is coming. So to answer the check-in report, he's not going to disappear, supposedly. He's playing it as a businessman, and then he's going to drop his album. So his album is going to come, so he supposedly won't disappear. I guess I said a lot to say that, right? Yeah, he's like, would he flop the opportunity to even be the top guy? I do think time is still of the essence. While he could wait a little bit, he has to drop definitely within the next 6 months, right? Okay. Johnny, he says, I'm surprised that the executive is allowing the algorithms to go against Drake. My theory is that Drake is beefing with the bosses behind the scenes. Well, I feel like we'll be going into like cynicism a little bit when we start talking about this. I do believe that, the deal that Drake has, it's not incentivized to make sure they're going to recoup, but it's not incentivized to make sure he has this unprecedented leverage that he's going to continue to squeeze Universal for more and more money for less and less of the product to come, which means they need to, and by the way, if we're thinking about the contract which Drake has confirmed to us is $400 million. And is Drake in a 360? We don't know. I mean, Drake Lemon Pepper freestyle. I did think it was kind of ominous a little bit. By the way, Drake has been on tour like the most out of any rapper, which is a little bit odd. But he did also rap on Lemon Pepper freestyle when he says, yo, and this before people knew his deal was a 400, but maybe this is like a double entendre or a triple entendre, I guess, at this point. Says, yeah, hard just turned purple, 360 up front, it all comes full circle. Now, 360 obviously is a 360 deal. People would instantly think about it. And then when you think full circle, you now think about, well, if Universal is in a 360 with Drake, and again, these releases that he just dropped, right? They're not, number one, it's going to generate a lot of revenue, but they're still not counting as albums. If he tours, they get benefit from it. As long as his career, which I think that could be something they could mitigate, as long as his career is just not non-existent, they're going to recoup. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like the whole thing that he's been beefing with the bosses behind the scenes. I've just heard that Universal just don't have that much control. And here's the thing. If I'm a company, just think about it, right? Drake might make you a lot of money, but you have the least amount of control with him. Usually the companies like it when they have the most amount of control and make the most amount from that artist's catalog, which even if they become bigger later on, they own the shit that matters the most, which is the early part of the catalog, which will always age well because usually people appreciate those records with time. For example, if we're thinking about Kanye West, his first three albums, College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, they're owned by Def Jam. He tried to buy it back. They wasn't really trying to give him that shit back, right? The thing with NBA YoungBoy was allowed to leave Atlantic and go to Capitol, and essentially they're looking at it like, well, your classic albums, whether it's AI YoungBoy or it's 38 Baby or Top or whatever you want to call your classic albums, YoungBoy, they're on our motherfucking label. So yeah, you could go over there, they'll overpay you, and you'll have more leverage there. But the thing with streaming is that when you start streaming, like for example, right now, right? Good Kid, Mad City. Did y'all see my tweet? I don't know if y'all follow me on Twitter. Good Kid, Mad City. Check this out. Like, if you think the labels aren't having a good time with this, look. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, sold 25K. Guaranteed Damn is owned by TDE and Universal. Whether I don't know what the pub or the rights splits would be with it. But yeah, or maybe TDE owns it. I'm thinking about the deal when they first got it. Yeah, regardless. Republic is eating off of this. Right? Republic is eating off of this. So you're telling me that this guy gets into a beef and his album from 12 years ago sells the best? Like, this shit outsold A Boogie, or damn near outsold A Boogie. Right? And A Boogie just dropped. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Oh, actually, no, this is from 2017. This is from 2012. Sorry, chat. So both of these combined did 47,000. You had to do zero promo. A Boogie had to shoot videos, pay producers, pay features, whatever. Marketing campaign, and he sold 27K first week. So you see why, like, you know, in the streaming game, you know, I've always, I try to explain to y'all, like, for a label, it's better. It's better when these artists die. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, they have to have a good catalog before they die. But, like, for example, let's say Juice WRLD, right? Like, I'm not saying his label wanted him to die. Like, don't get me wrong and don't take me out of context. But the more Juice WRLD's career went on, yeah, they would have got more money with him, but he would have gotten more leverage, right? Would have started promoting and caring about his future projects, and the label would have had less of the leverage, less of the ownership in the newer projects. Once they're dead, these projects are forever owned by the label. Like Pop Smoke's records, like they're not like giving it back to the mom, like, oh, here, just take your son's discography back. Hell nah. Forever and for always, if you want to listen to Pop Smoke's records, it's owned by the label. You get what I'm saying? Now, X is a little bit different because X was indie already. That's a little bit different, right? But other than that, you got to understand that these labels are always going to win with the streaming game, and this is why they actually signed all these deals for streaming, because fans go back and listen to catalog. It's all about catalog. The number one reason why Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group exist and they pressure every company, whether it's TikTok, they've done to Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, anybody, on licensing deals, they swing one big dick. No Diddy. It's their catalog. They have a huge catalog, no Diddy, and they basically say, we have this catalog, you want access to it. Right? So, like, whatever they gave Drake, the $400 million, Drake, take that $400 million, because we need to make sure you're going to keep producing music. And by the way, most of this stuff relies on catalog anyway. Remember when Kanye was trying to retire and the publishing company was about to sue him? And essentially, they had signed a $10 million publishing deal with Kanye. They gave him money. And part of the deal is that he couldn't retire. Why? Every time he dropped a new project, people were always going to go back and go stream uh, um, late registration and college dropout, which was going to get the pub company paid off of Kanye. You get what I'm saying? So again, that's how streaming works. It's hard to say these niggas, like, it's hard to say that the label loves these niggas so much they're not thinking afterwards, right? Like, it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, Drake, you're the biggest. We own most of your music. As you go into this new era where we're owning little smaller and smaller, like, for example, the margins on what they're making on Drake now are nowhere close to what, like, again, these are for the business people who are, just tap in with me real quick. Drake was probably in a royalty. First of all, Drake was signed to, what's called? Aspire Music Group, which was owned by Lil Wayne's former manager, right? And then through that, he was signed to Young Money, which is under Cash Money, which was under Universal, right? It's 100% like plausible, and probably you could assume he was in a royalty rate deal when he first got in the game, right? He's getting 18% on every dollar after recouping, and he had a big budget, right? 18%. So he's getting 18 cents for every dollar made after recoupment, which probably means after the first $5 million. So whatever advance he had gotten, probably after the first $5 million, because it probably took $5 million to make that first like LP, he's getting 18 cents, right? That's forever. Like, that ain't only for then. That's forever. You get what I'm saying? So forever and always, if Take Care jumps back on the motherfucking charts, and let's say it grosses $1 million, right? Drake gets $180,000 and the label gets over $800,000, right? That's not the splits on his current projects today. The current splits are probably going to be closer to a 50-50 or could possibly be a 60-40 in Drake's favor. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense, right? So, of course, there's money to be made with him, but the splits ain't in the label's favor no more. So, what would you care about? The shit you get 90% on, or the shit you're getting like 40% on, or damn near like your distro company with like certain resources for me? Maybe you're getting 30 after. Yeah, so, exactly. All right. Okay, yeah, you guys are smart, man. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes I be talking, I'm like, yo, I feel like to people in the music industry, they'll get it, but sometimes I'm like, am I just yapping to y'all? And I'm like, yo, act, that just don't make sense, bro. Like, what the fuck you're talking about? No, that's just reality. So Drake's, the leverage Drake has right now, because Drake could, obviously wouldn't sell what he sells, but he could just say, I'm going independent. So you can imagine, they're probably going to be like, yo, listen, we'll give you $400 million up front. All we want, right? We want this part of your touring until we recoup. We want this percentage of your touring until we recoup. I guarantee you'll tour this amount. Then we want 35 or 40% of your contract. Maybe let's say 30% of your music shit until we recoup, and then maybe goes down, or maybe it actually, maybe it's like 40%, then it goes down to 30 once we recoup. We'll give you the $400 million, and yeah, you go with the 400, but you got to tour, you got to drop these projects. Of course, for you, you're going to care about the $400 million because, $400 million, liquid means a lot, right? Liquid means a lot. Drake could earn that money by himself, but liquid means a lot. If somebody give you $400 million, like, you'd be an idiot to think about, well, they're making 600. You'd be like, yo, my nigga, give me the 400 today. And you make, it's like the bank. Like, the bank will give you a mortgage of $1 million, but the bank is looking at it like, we're going to make overall 1.5, but we're making that over 30 years. But they gave you the $1 million. Okay, I know you guys are smart, so let me not do all that over explaining. Okay. Yeah. I was reading donations. Thank you guys. Somebody says, imagine if K-Dot drops in October. Does Drake own October? Nah. Somebody said, Drake fans live in a bubble. Indy Raheem, thank you for that, by the way. It says, Drake fans lives in a bubble where their whole identity is tied to him. And y'all excuse sus behavior. Wearing blackface. By the way, why do I feel like it's PR, like I'm defending everything? The blackface thing there was a reason for the blackface thing, right? Like he said he was, maybe we'll get into it because there's still people asking about the blackface thing. Like, your Drake is black, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, honestly, and tell me if culturally I'm looking at this wrong. I'm black, okay? Yeah, I'm from Jamaica, but I'm black. If I say the hard ER, I'm sorry, I'm black. I could do that. I'm sorry. If I put blackface on, nigga, I'm sorry. I could do that. I'm sorry. Like, if it was a white person, if Drake mama did it, we gonna crucify her. Again, I'm not saying it's not a little clownish or whatever on face value, but niggas is acting like this is like some big ass indictment of whatever. And by the way, there was a reason he did that, man. Like, chill out. Like, why y'all act like Drake is a white guy? He says touching 17-year-old girls. Oh my God. Using slavery as a diss. That's where I could identify a Kendrick fan. Anytime Kendrick fan brings up Drake saying, yo, you rapping like you about to free the slaves. Like, yo, this is when you know you're dealing with a Kendrick fan. Bro, have you never been arguing with somebody else who's black and you say some shit or like you joke on some shit like, nigga, you must think you Martin Luther King or something like that. Like, you know those type of things? Like, yo, you kind of diss him, but it's not like you diss Martin Luther King. Like, Martin Luther King is a great motherfucking man. Did a lot of things, but it's like, you're just making a reference. Like, yo, nigga, you must think you must think, I don't know, you must think you Marcus Garvey. Like, whatever. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but a Kendrick fan is going to be like, how dare he talk about you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. Like, come on, bro. It's not even that serious. Now everybody's saying, nah, Ak. What? Really? It's that big of a deal now? Yo, man, y'all different, bro. Y'all are different, bro. General Surgency, thank you for the 50, yo. Salute to my boy General Surgency for the big 50. He says, when you're the best, people only want you to be for a little bit. Then they want to see somebody else win. Drake has been on top. That's why he gets this much hate. LeBron and Floyd too. I've made that point. That's why I said he was always the underdog. But anyway, continue. He says, and black people always talk about people are racist, but they be the most racist, especially the mixed black people. Yeah, I think people, I think it's been going on too long. Niggas want to see. I don't even think niggas don't want to see Drake on top. No Diddy. I think people want to see him humbled again. I always said that what comes with winning and the attitude to win is arrogance. Like, we've never seen a nigga number one that don't show some type of arrogance or self-confidence that could be misconstrued as arrogance. From Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant, if someone was ever truly number one and dominated, we always associated that confidence, that we always either confuse it or we associate it with arrogance. And what happens is, I think it's a natural cycle of life. When that happens and that arrogance persists for too long, people want to see that person on bended knees. They want to see that person at their weakest moment. They want to make sure that person could bleed. You're not Superman, nigga. We want to see you bleed. And sometimes that comes in a form of seeing that person break down and cry and just having that moment of, yo, I'm sorry, I fucked up, begging for forgiveness. Or just saying, listen, I'm defeated, y'all got me. And usually if you've watched, there's been so many instances. When that has happened, we've seen the audience pick back up the person they claimed was too arrogant, but it's only after they see that person is broken. They see that person is finally on bending knees. And I think what happens with someone like a Drake, I don't think he's going to give that moment. He's not going to give that moment to be like, yo, bro, I ain't going to lie, man. Like, I guarantee, Drake will get so much love right now if he say, yo, bro, yo, I'm sorry, man. I did so many shit wrong. I've been fucking up. Yo, I feel like a loser, man. I've been having thoughts of doing shit to myself. Like, I just feel like shit, man. Like y'all, everything y'all said about me is right. I'm just a piece of shit, man. Like I'm sorry. I'm gonna just go away, man. I'm done. I guarantee everybody in music will be like, no, we love you, nigga. I play. We love you. I guarantee it. People just want to see the nigga like just be like on one knee, just begging for forgiveness. That's it. Let's keep it a bean. If he ever was just like, yo, bro, you got it, man. Yo, listen, man. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I need to do some self-reflection. You know, this whole time I was trying to be one of the greats in rap. I didn't realize I lost myself. Yeah, right, man. I'm a total fraud, man. Like, you know, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? I've always never been really in tune with black culture. Like, my mama really white. Man, I'm sorry, man. Like, y'all don't even know what to do. Like, you know what? The best thing for me to do, I'm going to just go away. I'm going to just go away. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, y'all right. Everything y'all said about me is true. Like, I don't deserve none of this. Like I'll just wake up some mornings and I just wish I wasn't here. If Drake comes out and says that, I promise you, everybody and their mama loves him. They're waiting for that. Somebody said they clown Drake for that. Hell nah, they wouldn't clown Drake for that. Nope. 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 Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and again, we're not talking about the Kendrick fans, right? Because obviously Kendrick fans, Drake fans, like people want their favorite to win. The people, I keep telling you, there's more people in the middle, and keep in mind, I know you're gonna be like, no, there's not more people in the middle because Kendrick fans and Drake fans, those are the majority. No. The Drake fans who care, those are the only ones we're talking about. Like, I'm a Drake fan who care. Bro, there's a girl in Montana who goes to Drake concert with their 40-year-old dad and their 80-year-old grandma who don't even know he was in a beef. Like, they don't know nothing about this, right? Those ain't the fans we're talking about. We're not talking about those fans, right? So what I'm trying to tell y'all, it's more people that don't have a horse in the race than do. The people who care a lot on Kendrick's side and on Drake's side are the ones who really care about this shit. The rest of these people, they don't. The people who are in the middle, I would say this. They want to see Drake lose, but they don't really hate Drake. They're just tired of the nigga winning. They're like, oh, yo, we're tired that you're, like, even this post right here. Yo, I'm just tired of this nigga painting his nails, acting like he could talk tough and and pucker his lips while he taking a picture. Like, well, we tired of that type of shit. So I don't think the majority of people hate Drake. They just want to see him get humbled. That's why I think if he seems like he's just fell on the sword and say, y'all got it, they'd be like, nah, bro, we still fuck with you. We just had to see you humble one time. We just had to see you get knocked the fuck out because you was running around here thinking you Tupac. That's it, bro. We don't hate you. I don't think they hate Drake. By the way, what y'all think about this? Yo, my man Gordo, a.k.a. DJ Carnage, he says, yo, you guys ready for summer 2024? And obviously, if you don't remember that infamous link up, last time Drake was like, yo, Gordo got me on the wave. Hey, that was, you know, well, first of all, that was the song Sticky, but it was on Honestly Nevermind. That was the Euro-centric type song where Drake was, you know, a lot of damn near house music. It was like a house music album, right? I'm wondering if he's teasing that again. But you see Drake here, and Drake, you know, he's throwing up the middle finger, with the painted nails. Crazy. Crazy, yo. Crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Drake got like, is this a teardrop? Yo, Drizzy is something else, man. Drizzy got a teardrop, braids, got a spider on his hand, and fucking painted nails. That's my goat. That's my goat. It's my goat. I don't know what to say, y'all. That's my goat. Hey, there's nothing like throwing up a middle finger, especially when you just got a fresh set. Like, ask some of these bad bitches out here. That's a fact. And by the way, my boy don't do no acrylics neither. I don't think he be using the gel nails shit. I think that's his real nails. Somebody says, oh, they did the same thing to Eminem? Oh, okay. All right. All right, let me see. Yeah, we do got a lot of donations. Somebody says, every great Drake could do, it says, everything great Drake could do in his career. This was Dante Witten said. He's already done. every from point what? Is that everything from now from this point is extra or a copy. People don't feel the need to keep Drake over Dot. Okay. All right. All right, my boy. Sarah Person says, being black is a spectrum. Black people who grew up with black people with black parent understand you can't say certain things if you're really light skinned or biracial. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be feeling like the lightest mixed race people be coming across like the most pro-black to me. Think about anybody who like mixed race, they be dumb pro-black. You be looking at them like, nigga, ain't no way you hate white people like this. Ain't your mama white? Like, nigga, yo, I remember seeing J. Cole in some of these marches. I'm like, ain't no way. Now, granted, it was mostly police brutality joints, but it's like, I know a lot more light-skinned motherfuckers who be like, look at that nigga Sean King. That nigga, supposedly he like mixed. Yo, the face of Black Lives Matter was this nigga. Like, think about it, chat. The face of this nigga, the face of Black Lives Matter was him for a minute. I'm serious. And I think this is him with a tan. Like, real talk. This is how you, chat, let me show you something. This is how you knew that this nigga, like, this was on some bullshit. The first picture that pops up of Sean King is in black and white, nigga. It's like the nigga not really trying to show you the whiteness, nigga. He's just trying to, like, he's trying to black and white. Like, yo, this is the face of Black Lives Matter. No respect to him, but it's the face of it. Only thing black about this nigga is the goddamn fade. That nigga probably say, yo, give me a Boosie fade, nigga. Let's keep this shit moving. And this it's the face of it, bruh. And I know y'all remember Rachel Dolezal. Bruh, how did this woman infiltrate? And you know how many people were following her, nigga? Then we heard that she said she was transracial, gang. Nigga, she was white as hell and just did some box braids, nigga. And they were like, yo, that's our leader. Leader's right there. Right there. Right there. This was the leader, nigga. I'm going to keep it a bean. Look. Bruv. This was an NAACP leader. Yo, chat. Yo, y'all ain't see this? Yo, chat, when it comes to like the voices that lead, it will never be no nigga like Dr. Umar. Niggas like him because he entertaining. Like, by the way, I ain't say he shouldn't be a leader. I'm just saying, y'all niggas love gravitating to the white faces anyway, so stop the cap. So, Sarah, I get what you're saying, but it's hard for me to agree with what you're saying that, oh, it's kind of known in the black community that lighter skinned people should avoid saying certain shit. When it came to leading all these movements, y'all went to this motherfucker. Anyway. Okay. Candlejack says, yo, Kendrick fans read into his lyrics like it's Da Vinci Code, but have a mental block with the context of Drake's lines. The maximum disingenuous behavior. I agree. Second report says, I seen Kendrick throw on some high heels, let a white girl sing about being a slave on his album, get accused of domestic violence, never address it, and his fans don't bat an eye. Who's really glazing? Kendrick had high heels? No, he didn't. Kendrick Lamar, high heels? No way. What the fuck? That's not heels. That's like platform shoes. And honestly, this is short nigga tactics. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all short niggas act like they like being short. No, they don't. You know what I mean? It's like all fat niggas act like they like being fat. No, we don't. So, yeah, no, this is a little tactic. Yeah, they put on. It's like, this is why the Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish I was 6 foot. This is why I was starting to yo, I used to cop the what's the name of that shoes? There's these like designer sneakers that got like about this much like, sole or whatever. It makes you like 3-4 inches taller. Nigga, I was rocking them bitches for a while. That shit was heavy as hell. But you look taller wearing them. Them shit look like moon boots. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's just short nigga tactics. I ain't gonna say that's selling out. Yeah, Kendrick's like 5'2". Nigga wanted to be a little taller. And also, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, to keep it real, like, I'm just keeping the beat with you. Like, this is kind of like a little pro-black fit right here, man. This how these pro-black niggas be giving it up, bro. Let's see. Oh, I can't see the foot. What the fuck? Nah, I'm not gonna get on Kendrick for that. Nah. Yeah, he cool. Just because he's short. That nigga's short, man. All right. But I'm not going to say he's rocking high heels trying to be a woman or some shit like that. Nah. Like I could explain, and I know, Drake fans be hitting me too. They be like, yo, Ak, you're supposed to be on our side. You're not supposed to get that nigga credit, bro. I got to still be on bias. Like, Drake wearing nail polish and Kendrick wearing shoes that are like either like church shoes or like shoes with a little platform. Okay, both might indicate like a problem with one's sense of self. Kendrick just thinks he's short, and that's a fact. Drake with the fucking nail polish, I don't know what Drake is thinking. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I've just never went in the nail shop and said, yo, color me up, pink only, and put some flowers. I've never done that. So I can't even, I can't say nothing on that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Coleman Hollis says, what Drake fans don't grasp, black culture, what Drake fans don't grasp black culture, if they did, they could grasp how a mixed dude from Canada, raised Jewish, had no chance against Kendrick. Well, we didn't think this was going to be a cultural war. We thought this was going to be a rap battle. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Did y'all all think that this was going to get to the point that it got to when it came to like rapping? Like, these guys are basically just like accusing each other of cancelable things. Like, I thought it was gonna be, yo, I'm better than you at rapping, maybe expose like, nigga, I put you on. Yo, remember when you begged me to help write for yours? I thought that's what the battle was gonna be over. Like, I thought it was gonna be more rapping. I didn't know it was gonna be like dissecting these guys' like way of life, their marriage, their relationship with their kids. Like, this shit turned into some ultra personal shit. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, I seen somebody say some shit today. I think it was T.I. T.I. says Drake and Kendrick should go on tour. And I was like, that nigga's wildin'. Fuck out of here. Nigga, if this happened, I think Drake would shoot Kendrick his damn self, nigga. Hell no.
I think they both are phenomenal hit makers.
Oh, okay. And, all right, hold on. I do gotta get some more liquor chat. I'm gonna bring the bottle down here. Watch this.
I will say this, though, it is probably one of the more exacerbated beefs I've seen.
T.I. go with the dictionary.
Yeah,
make sure y'all look that up.
All this stuff can't be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything everybody's saying can't be true. Like, good God, I got respect for both of them, man, and I think they both are phenomenal hit makers. And I'm just waiting on the tour, now, because that's the only thing,
left to happen.
Listen, after the disagreement, the only thing that's gonna sell is the reunion.
Listen, what about J. Cole added in there?
J. Cole, I think he opted out.
I'm saying, would you want to see him on the tour? Like,
I don't think you want to see it. I think
you don't want to see himself on the tour.
Man, he chose peace and serenity. Hey, man, that is very mature.
I love it. I was about to say,
very mature.
There's nothing that nobody could do.
That's a lot of
I hate J. Cole.
That's a lot of I don't give a fuck in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. That shit don't matter.
Like, I ain't about to do that.
Like, at the end of the day, what can I really receive from this? Yeah, man, that was very, very, that was very Gandhi of him.
Not Gandhi.
Monster on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a free throw, man, damn, all like ambulance. tell him please.
It's funny y'all brought up like some legendary moments. I see you going back on. You got a show with Luda coming up, and I remember back in the days. I totally forgot about this from back in the days that Buck had you and him on that song, and you didn't even know what was going. I never asked you about this. What was going on in your mind or your head when you saw that he dropped that record? Were you like kind of pissed off at Buck from that?
Nah, man, I don't have no emotions and shit, bro. You know, I be so consumed.
I'm talking about the young T.I., not the.
I be so consumed with myself, man. At the time I had it was so much me going on. Man. I ain't really had no room to be looking and worried and concerned with nobody else shit, man. And
that's the first time ever that somebody did anything like that. They put like two guys that got problems with each other, and they put it on a record without telling you.
Hey, man.
Isn't that crazy?
It's great for the game.
love the regular responses like, yo, I
got a secret tip on that video though. Like, a lot of people don't know. I am the guy in the monkey suit in the snippet video.
What monkey suit?
In the stomp video. In the stomp video, like it was a snippet. I'm the one in the ape suit, but a lot of people don't know.
When you gonna take it off?
Yo, no.
Yeah, Tip, I thought we were friends, man.
Nah, Tip don't have no friends when the mics come on.
Speaking of which, will we ever get another Gangsta Grills?
Man, you know what? We working on the PSC Gangsta Grills right now. Yeah.
Country Kane,
Young Dro, Matt Boney, myself, DJ Drummer. We working on one right now.
Okay.
He chose Peace and Serenity. Hey, man, that is very mature.
I love it. I was about to say,
very mature.
There's nothing that nobody could do.
That's a lot of
hate J. Cole.
That's a lot of I don't give a fuck in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. That shit don't matter.
Like, I ain't about to do that.
Like, at the end of the day, what can I really receive from this? Yeah, man, that was very, very, Gandhi of him.
Not Gandhi.
Aight, monster on the beat, ho, beat, bo, bean, rap, nigga, here, free throw. Man, damn, call like Amber Lamps.
Like kind of pissed off at Buck from that?
Nah, man, I don't have no emotions and shit, bro. I be so consumed.
I'm talking about the young T.I., not the
I be so consumed with myself, man. At the time I had it was so much me going on. I ain't really had no room to be looking and worried and concerned with nobody else shit, man. You know what I mean? Going, he was going hard. And the way he delivered it was just so effortless. Like, that was his shit, you know what I mean? So, I fuck with it.
I had to put the fatality at the end of the day.
Fatality. Are you happy with where trap music is?
Learn from my mistakes and push forward to
Correct him, get him right.
That wasn't Siri either.
Well, we all know Tip's words like audacity.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I don't think that these motherfuckers are going to go on tour together, and I'm okay if they don't go on tour together. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you. And I wonder what y'all think about Drake's moves post, if we're going to say this beef is over. I don't like the first appearing with Sexy Red on a record. So if I'm scoring Drake post beef moves, I don't like that. I think there was a picture that came out that people, or a video, they were like, oh, Drake and Turks, which was, I think that was false. And he posted another picture. He was just like, to show that he's in his crib. This was right before the shooting, right? But Drake's post beef moves, I don't like the Sexy Red thing, even though, honestly, knowing the music business, the battle pretty much ended 2 weeks ago, if we're going to say it ended there. He didn't just first heard about the request from Sexy Red to be on the album. He probably promised her a long time ago, and he probably would look like a bitch-ass nigga if he didn't do it. And, this is probably something that just... optically, I don't think it looks that good, but that's probably him also keeping that relationship, because it's a big look for Sexy Red. Sexy Red needed this for her EP, and I've been telling y'all, these artists ain't trying to put out albums, especially these newer artists. Like matter of fact, the new conversation being had, and I don't know if y'all want me to talk about it later, is that Ice Spice, she's starting to slip a bit, because the thing with these female rappers who lack the substance of actually fan base building and having music that's qualitative to keep fans entertained beyond the latest bop is that people don't want to hear an album from them, okay? People want to hear a hot song, and then let's go for 2 months and we'll play that out and let's hear another hot song. But these labels, it's the way how music is monetized and the way how it's always been monetized is not song at a time. It's always use the song to sell the product, right? It's like the song is the sample, right? And we want you to buy the whole product, right? We want to get $10.99 or the equivalent amount of streams rather than you just stream one song. So that's always been the motto of the music business. So these days they're realizing when you throw an artist out there that haven't built a fan base, you kind of kill them when you now have them selling 3,000 records. So you know what they do? They do singles. And when they try to monetize, they'll do an EP with basically a single, because what happens with the EP, nobody's going to be caring or counting the EP in terms of sales. No one's going to be like, oh, this EP didn't like perform well, so like you're done, right? Like I'm pretty sure, and I'll tell you, I'm looking up right now the projections. I'm pretty sure the EP is not even going to be in it, or it won't be high. But nobody won't care. It's an EP. The album people will care. I'll show you this view. Matter of fact, let's look at some streams real quick. Let's see how good that Sexy Red. Let's see how good her whole tape has been doing. It's only been one day of streaming, right? So we got Friday and Saturday, so 2 days, I guess. In Sexy We Trust. Look. This shows you how much these artists. This shows you how much these artists are single-based artists. This, I know it's an intro track. People ain't going to the EP to play from track one. This has 3,000 plays. To put in perspective, you know which song has the most? Look, I'll even do it right here with y'all live. Chart data, most, say hip hop, most plays in a day. Here we go. I think we'll get it. No. Hip hop. No, streams. You gotta do streams. I'm looking for like an arbitrary. Because Kendrick just broke it, or almost broke the all-time one. Not like. Let me see. I think it did like 9 point something million. Anyway. What I was trying to show y'all was this, okay? Oh, actually, Not Like Us did beat it. Okay, it beat Girls Want Girls and Champagne Poetry. Here's the thing. Champagne Poetry is a great song, but Champagne Poetry was the first song on Drake's CLB album. When you're an album artist, people open up your album and hit play on the first song. They want to listen to every song. When you're not an album artist, i.e. Sexy Red, the first record on your I know it's an intro, but you know, just off only 3,000 plays, you know niggas ain't listening to it like that, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not going on Sexy Red's album and playing from 1 till 14. Wait, is this an EP? Nah, this is an album. An EP is not no 14 fucking tracks. They're probably calling it, PR-wise, they're calling it an EP, but this is an album. You know why they're calling it EP, right? Because when that first week come back and niggas start clowning, you can't have that being done to your artist. But anyway, this is 14 songs. The rules for EP, if we Google it real quick, extended play versus LP. You'll see it says EP stands for extended play, and one would usually comprise 4 to 6 tracks. Really, the play time is usually about like 20 to 30 minutes. Long play, which is an album, usually 10 to 12 tracks, or at least like around 50 minutes of music, right? So 50 minutes of music, album, 20 to 30 minutes, EP. Let's see how much runtime this is. Oh, actually, it is an EP. It's 33 minutes, yeah. Wow. 14 songs in 33 minutes, which means this averages 2 minutes per song. Oh, okay, so it is an EP. So yeah, it doesn't really go by number of tracks. It goes by runtime. So around 33, yeah, that's fine. It'll still be an EP. Oh, okay. Anyway, the point of what I was trying to say is that if you look at this album or this EP, people are going and picking out what they want. They're not listening to the whole Sexy Red project, right? They're going here and just picking songs, right? With the Drake song, it's done 2 million in 2 days. I think that's pretty good. 2 million in 2 days. This is definitely going to chart, right? This is going to be another charted entry. Get It Sexy's been out for a long while. And if you look at the streams between this and anything else, you can't count Get It Sexy. This is pretty much 10 times any other track. So the stimulus package still exists, right? Yeah, the stimmy still exists. Drake's feature is doing 10 times any other song outside the one that's been out for a while that's a hit. And that's still stimmy numbers. That's still stimmy numbers. We got to give it to the boy. Right? What y'all think? All right, man. All right. Anyway, yeah. I only brought that up because Champagne Poetry is number 3 just because the majority of people played track 1. Maybe they didn't get through the whole album, but they played track 1 a lot. The biggest hit off the album ended up being Girls Want Girls, so because that was number 1. That ended up having more streams in it, but people generally play an album artist records from track 1 all the way down. Okay. That was my point. I don't want y'all to think this is a Drake Glaze stream. Let's take a slight break from talking about Drake, and let's actually go to 2 things. We have Nicki Minaj, who got arrested. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. By the way, thank you guys for tuning in today. I know you guys could be anywhere, and I appreciate you guys for being here with me. Listen, we got almost like 20,000 on YouTube, and we got about 2,000 on Twitch. And how much do we have on Rumble right now? We good? Okay, we got about 6,000 on Rumble, so we're kicking it around, hovering around 30,000 people. Salute to all y'all. Anyway, what I do want to get into real quick, and if you're wondering who my guest is, I don't know if he's gonna be on. I don't know if he's gonna be on. Hold on. I don't know if he's going to be on. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm still. Wait. Where's my message? Okay, I'm still waiting on it. Anyway, my guest that's about to come on, and yes, trigger alert, trigger warning, and everything like that. We're talking a little bit about Diddy for a few minutes, so calm down. My guest is about to be, not today, or maybe, he said it was on a flight, so maybe later on in the stream. It's going to be Bradford Cohen. If you guys don't know who that is, it's Kodak's daddy, the guy who Kodak calls daddy, right? He's actually given really interesting commentary on the case. And, obviously, I do my, I know a lot of y'all respect me trying my best, also thinking outside the box, and also trying to even further my own legal, knowledge to try to give context to what's going on, what's probably going to happen, this and third. But this is an actual lawyer, and nothing could beat an actual lawyer. By the way, really well-decorated lawyer. He's gotten Kodak and so many other artists out of so many situations, and he's been giving his commentary about this Cassie situation. He said something that was so profound that nobody thought about, including myself. I actually am now all in full belief. I'm going to show you what he said, but it's important for me to just kind of, I know some of y'all hate the recap, but we got to make sure everybody's caught up to speed, right? So, of course, like last week, I can't remember if it's last week or the week before, randomly we see a video get leaked, right? And the video that got leaked was a video that depicted abuse by Sean P. Diddy, a.k.a. Brother Love Combs. And you see it here. He's running down the hallway. He's running to Cassie, of course. This is Cassie trying to leave. I'm going to stop before we see the violence. but he basically hits her in the back of the head. You know, she kind of collapses. He hits her again. She's just sitting there, like laying there lifeless, and he kicks her a couple of times. Then it kind of switches to him sitting on like a bench, and he's just throwing shit at her. Very upset. He also start yanking her and pulling her towards the room, and also grab like the bags that she was, had in her hand. It appears that she was trying to leave. We don't know what happened before, but it appears that she was trying to leave because she was, putting on her shoes at the elevator. So she was clearly trying to be discreet and trying to get away. What happened before, what happened in the room, allegedly what she says in the lawsuit is that it's a freak off. Now, I listened to a bunch of people, including Reggie Wright. I'm going to shout out to Reggie Wright because I think he's a former police officer, or maybe his father is a police officer. But he's been pretty spot on with a lot of things, and he has really good analysis of a lot of these things, especially in the eyes of how the law sees it. Now, we've been talking about how the hell this got out. And Reggie White pointed out something that was really interesting to me, right? Because I came out and I said, I think the feds leaked this. But the feds, because of how they leaked it to CNN, I think the feds, they're leaking this to justify the raid. They're also leaking this, some people have said they're leaking this to get more victims to come forward. Some people feel like they want to cripple Diddy financially. If you leak this video, all of his business partners are running for the hills. He can't get money. And in historic fights we've seen with the feds and people that have been involved in hip hop, where it's a environment where people could get a lot of money. They don't want to be fighting a guy with infinite resources. They want a guy who basically doesn't have too much resources or can't really challenge them on everything they're going to bring, right? By the way, we've seen this before when it came to the feds. Murder Inc., feds. Basically, Murder Inc. got raided, and I forgot what was the bigger company above Murder Inc. Basically, according to Irv Gotti, who spoke about this a lot, they said because Murder Inc. was supporting these gangsters who were doing some shit, they really wanted the gangster niggas. They had to get the money support away from the dudes they're trying to convict. Murder Inc. was a record label that had access to a lot of money. So they raided the office of Murder Inc. and like the label to make it so radioactive, because once the feds went up in there and said to, I don't know if it's UMG or whatever label it was, saying, yo, we want to see all financials. We want to see if maybe we need to bring y'all in court. They said, fuck Murder Inc. We don't want no parts with them, which means now they can't really make money. It goes into a situation that, that Murder Inc. had to fight their own legal battle. Also, they had money frozen this and third. They couldn't facilitate and fund the legal defense of these gangsters, right? That was like a plot by the feds to kind of isolate the money from who they're going at. Now, some people believe, well, that might be what they're doing with leaking the video. Nobody wants to be in business with Diddy. Seeing this video, now Diddy can't make no money. He has to rely on his bank account and whatever resources he has for current. The interesting other take that, and salute to Bradford Cohen again, I'm going to get him on, if not today, probably tomorrow. The interesting other take that he had that I actually believe is that if we look at the timeline, so this comes out, and what happens next? We see Diddy, who apologized, right? Diddy apologized. Then what happened? Of course, other people jump in and chime in. Everybody's saying Diddy's a piece of shit. Then we get Cassie's lawyer, who actually jumps in by says, "Yo, he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false. His pathetic desperation, no one will be swayed by his disingenuous words." Now, I've said to y'all, doesn't this kind of seem a little odd that Diddy allegedly pays this woman $30 million or $50 million, and her lawyer is so mouthy with this whole thing going on with Diddy? Yo, you got paid already. Why the fuck do you keep... And I know some people might be like, no, maybe they just want justice. Cool. But you got paid. And you signed these NDAs where supposedly you can't even talk about it. Why are you in a slick way through your lawyer speaking out against Diddy? Okay, let's keep following the train of thought here. So that happens. Then Cassie, who has not said anything outside of speaking through her lawyers, Cassie has then put out a statement. Her statement says, "Thank you for all the love and support from my family and friends, strangers who I've yet to meet. The outpouring of love has created this place for my younger self to settle and feel safe now, but this is only the beginning. Domestic violence is the issue. It broke me down. It broke me down to someone I never thought I would become." That is a very interesting line. And by the way, I also have to give the same disclaimer that my man Bradford Cohen had to give many times on his Instagram post. I don't know if maybe some of y'all seen him before. Because we're not defending domestic violence or none of that, but we're only looking at this from a legal perspective because we're trying to analyze. That's it. We're not saying this is we're realizing that what's at play here is like this shit is bigger than Nino Brown, bro. There's a lot of shit going on. So we do have to look at even some of the word in here, and then we're going to, I'll tell you what I agree with the conclusion here. It said, "It broke me down as someone I thought I never thought I would become. With a lot of hard work, I'm better today, but I'll always be recovering from my past." That's also a very poignant statement. We'll get back to it. "Thank you for everyone that's taken the time to take this matter seriously. My only ask is that everyone open your heart to believe in victims the first time. It takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation that you were powerless in." Let's use that line again too. These are lines. I wish I had a highlighter. I would highlight some of these lines. By the way, I don't believe for a second Cassie wrote this herself, which she shouldn't write this herself. She had help with a lawyer. But some of these lines are very important. Here we go. "Takes a lot of heart to tell the truth out of a situation we're powerless in. I offer my hand to those that are still living in fear. Reach out to your people. Don't cut them off. No one should carry this weight alone. This healing journey is never ended, but the support means everything to me. Thank you. Love always." Now, what am I getting at here, people? What am I getting at? And I read this, and I want to give him the credit, but I read this on Bradford Cohen's page. He reacted to Cassie's like apology, and he said this. He says, "So just so we're all clear, this is what I was saying the statement would be. She was powerless in her situation. She became someone. Remember, she said, I never thought I would become." Now, we're going to assume it means complicit or allowing someone to beat you, but this is a lawyer who's saying, think about everything going on and hear this spin on it, which I thought this was, I actually believe this is true. It says, "This is why the tape was leaked. She essentially, in my opinion, is a co-conspirator." Now let's stop right there. Remember, in any situation, when you're talking about these guys of tremendous amount of money and wealth and power, and they are using that to corrupt and influence people to do sexual things or whatever the case is. Again, let me not speak in these big words or whatever. Let me not choose my words too wisely. Let me just say this. Bruh, the shit that we hear Diddy was doing, you need a bottom bitch to get done. Let's keep it a bean, right? Let's keep it a bean. Diddy ain't just doing it like, Diddy ain't just telling all these bitches to do all this shit without some woman almost making it seem like, oh, yeah, I do it too. Just like how it was said in the Little Rod lawsuit. Yo, of course you should fuck men. Like, Meek and them other niggas do it. Like, you kind of need the bottom bitch. You need the Ghislaine Maxwell. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not accusing Cassie of this, but I'm saying that's what Ghislaine Maxwell was for Epstein. Yo, young girls came around Epstein like, this is kind of weird. This old man wants me to give him a massage. He wants me to be fully naked. He wants me to oil up around his private parts. You know what Ghislaine Maxwell would say? Nah, hold on. Like, no, we all do it. Come here. No, let's both get naked. We could both get naked. No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Women seem to always be more comfortable when they see another woman doing it. Right? Now, see, I see some people be like, yo, well, listen, we're not accusing Cassie of anything. And again, I'm using this statement because this is only from a legal perspective. We're trying to make sense of something that don't make sense. Why is this video out? right? Why is this video out? Please, just calm down. I am not saying Cassie is a bad person. Please just understand this perspective. And I have to say it a million times before y'all say that I'm defending somebody. Please just understand the perspective I'm trying to give, right? And understand how this could make sense. All right. By the way, this guy says it verbatim. He says he believes this is why it was leaked. He says she's a co-conspirator. Now, here's the thing. Keep in mind, in the eyes of the law, it's more black and white and more rigid. If the feds are looking at other women or even men, and they have interviewed all these people, and the one question is going to be, why did you engage in the freak off with Diddy?
Man, so Akademiks is going over the Kendrick Lamar and, you feel me, Drake beef. Honestly, I feel like the beef is over. Like X said, I don't think Drake got ethered by Kendrick or Kendrick got ethered by Drake. You feel me? But I will say this, the allegations that, you feel me, Kendrick Lamar brought forth on Drake, it's probably going to hurt Drake way more than the allegations that Drake brought upon Kendrick about beating his wife. No one even talks about that, even with all the Diddy stuff going on. No one talks about it. But you feel me? Every time I see something with Drake, bro, like, someone's always bringing up something about him being a pedo or something. So, like, that's definitely gonna last way longer. So, you feel me? And I want to be super unbiased. So if we ever want to say anything with Kendrick and Drake, ain't gonna lie, like rap wise, like song making wise, you could say, okay, you could kind of say 50-50, or like you could give like a small edge to Kendrick, I guess. But like the side of the beef where hit song, you would have to give it to Kendrick, because, you feel me, Not Like Us is, yeah, number one, took over, was doing things, so he won that. You feel me? I'm a Drake fan, but I listen to Kendrick too. I'm just a fan of music and stuff, so gotta be as unbiased as possible. You feel me? Drake's a GOAT. Kendrick is a GOAT. Man, all we could do is pray for peace. And yeah. Man. It's so hard saying that. I won't say that Drake took a L, but you feel me? Kendrick definitely, he gained way more. Drake has nothing to gain from this. He only has something to lose. Kendrick has everything to gain, and he gained. So hey, it is what it is. I wish that this rap battle could have been anything else but this. But hey, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Big Act News, and let me know, do lies count, or are we just counting all the lies? Like, let me know, and I'm out.